Page 22, green gravel. In this piece, they're introducing the pickup note, or the pickup beat, whatever you want to call it. You see, music theory dictates that according to the time signature, all the measures got to have a certain number of counts or beats to them. This piece, for instance, is in 3/4 time, therefore every measure's got to have 3 beats. It's the way it is. It's got to make sense to them. Well, if you look at the first measure, it's got 1 beat in it. What's going on? Well, it's called a pickup or an incomplete measure. So where's the other beats? Glad you asked. I'll tell you. They're at the bottom. The last measure of the piece, if you look at it, it's just a half note. That's 2. Well, you take the last measure and the pickup measure and you put them together and you got 3, and everybody's happy again, right? Okay. So whenever they want a pickup or an incomplete measure at the beginning, they'll fill it out with the rest of the stuff, usually, and put it at the end of the piece. Not always, but usually it's there, okay? So when I count you in, I could give you 3 full counts for the 3/4 time, plus 2 more, and then we could come in on the third beat. That's 5 counts. I'm too lazy to count to 5, so I'm only going to give us 2 counts. I'm just going to go ready, go, and we play. So you gotta be right there. Oh, yeah. That curved line, that slur, or the tie, in this case it's a slur, when it's over a bunch of notes, it's called a phrase mark. I just love it, don't you? You see, we, in English, or in most any language, I suppose, you talk in sentences. And there's a slight pause between the sentences. That way, you can tell when you finish one sentence and you start another. It also gives you a chance to breathe. Well, in music, we play in musical sentences, or phrases. We call them phrases. We don't call them sentences. And a phrase simply means you're more or less connecting the notes in that sentence, and then you can have a slight silence before you go on to the next sentence. In songs like this that have words to it, it's actually easier because the phrases match the sentences in the word sentences. So if you look at the beginning of this, that phrase line goes all the way across the first line and continues to the second line to the word green, the second measure, and it ends with green. Well, the green has a period. That's the end of a sentence. Well, it's the end of a phrase. That's not by accident. That's on purpose. All right? And then that starts another phrase because you got another sentence. Now, sometimes they'll break the phrases up and you'll have 2 or 3 phrases within one long sentence or something. I've seen that too. But for the most part, if there's no phrasing shown, but there's words in it, you can phrase it according to the words and you're fine. So you can see on here, because they've labeled it, that the left hand, look at the second line, the left hand, that's a slur. A curved line over those notes. It's not a phrase. It's not long enough for a phrase. Well, it could be a phrase, but it's not. It's just a slur. It means connect them. They could have left the line out. You'd connect them anyway, but they put it in there, and the last line's got the same thing. However, keep in mind with these phrases, like a slur, you want a little silence between them. So in the second line, second measure, in the right hand, you have 1, 2. Before you play the G, lift the C up so there's a little bit of silence before you go on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? Now in this case, because the left hand also has a half note, you can lift both hands up at the same time, all right? You're cheating the half note a little bit of its time, all right? You're not giving it the full 2 counts. You're just a hair shorter than 2 counts. 1, 2. So you can have a little silence before you go on. Now on the previous page, they're talking about an interval of a third. You already know about intervals. I explained it earlier. It's good for you to go through all those lines because of the fingering. You see the fingering they've got there is about the 1, 3, and so forth. It's not the only fingering for a third, but it's a good start. So be sure and go through page 21. It's careful. You don't need my help for it, but you can do it, okay? So let's try green gravel together. I'm going to give us 2 counts and we'll play it. So this again is in C position. It's the only composition we've had so far. It ain't gonna last forever, believe me. So enjoy it while you got it. And here we go. Now remember, bring out the melody. The melody here is in the right hand, so play the right hand a little louder than the left. I'm going to play them both more or less the same because I want you to hear the notes. Because you got to hear and make sure you're playing the same note I am. Ready? Go. Now there is a teacher's part at the bottom, so let's take advantage of that and let's do the duet. You play what you just played and I'll do the teacher's part. Now the first note, that pickup note, you get by yourself. I don't come in until the beginning of the full measure, after you've started. So you get one note by yourself. I'm going to go 1, 2 and then you start, and then I'll start on the next beat. Okay, there we go. Ready, go. 1,